Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4 predictions. And no, we are not going to talk about how last week went. Before we jump right into it, just want to quickly say to subscribe if you are new, it would be greatly appreciated. Leave a like while you're at it as well, and comment down below if you disagree with any of my predictions, which I would not be surprised because, yeah, we saw how last week went. Anyway, let's dive right into this. To begin, the Dallas Cowboys play Thursday Night Football against the New York Giants, a game of which the Cowboys are favored. Both teams enter at 1 and 2. Both teams having pretty odd games last week. The Giants in a win. The Cowboys nearly came back and beat the Ravens. I'm still have a lot of questions surrounding the Cowboys. And it's more so because they have not looked like the Cowboys this season. It's been a very weird two back-to-back really tough losses where the offense really couldn't get anything going. And yeah, that fourth quarter against Baltimore was a good showing from them, but it was still only one quarter out of the past 8 where they really showed a lot on offense. The Giants, they had that great win against Cleveland. They're looking like they're trying to find a footing of some kind. This is a very tough matchup to pull right after it. I expect the Cowboys to bounce back pretty well. Give me the Cowboys in this one. Next up, the Denver Broncos travel to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. The Jets are favored. The Jets enter at 2-1 after a really dominating victory over the New England Patriots last week, and they're starting to look like a complete team. The offense is finding its footing. They're getting the rhythm together. They're getting the chemistry going. They're looking nice. The defense also looking to step up and really regain the whole Jets defense identity. The Broncos had a really good game against Tampa Bay the previous week, a game of which their defense dominated and the offense played decently well. Still looking for a little bit more out of that passing game, particularly passing touchdowns, but the ground game is working decently well, and overall, they're able to move the ball down the field pretty well. With all that being said, though, I'm still taking the New York Jets in this one. The Minnesota Vikings travel to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field this week, a game of which the Packers are actually favored. The Packers coming off of a nice win against Tennessee that was defensive focused and ground game focused. The passing game didn't do a hell of a lot. The Vikings have one of the best, if not the best, defensive units in the NFL. The offense has been playing well, led by Sam Darnold, and all around, the Vikings are looking a lot better than some people expected this season, including myself. This is going to be a very good game and a very interesting game, as this is not the Packers team we kind of expected going into this season. We still don't know, as of the recording of this, if Jordan Love is going to be back yet. He's going to be practicing this week and kind of waiting and seeing. Even with Jordan Love potentially being back, I'm still going to pick the Minnesota Vikings. I just think they are the hotter team and the better team at this point in the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers are favored heading into Indianapolis this week, and the Steelers are having a really solid season. The offense is playing well, not doing too much, moving the ball down the field effectively and not turning the ball over, while the defense is just dominating on every accord. It's a really nice defense to have built there. It is a really solid playing defense to have there, and the Colts are going to struggle with it. For as much as I like the Colts this season, I feel like they're going to eventually find their footing and turn the season around a bit and could sneak into the playoffs. This is a very tough week. I mean, they struggled against the Bears last week, a game of which Chicago kind of threw that one away, especially early on with that fourth and goal speed option from the one. The Colts are just a weird team, and Anthony Richardson has been inconsistent this season, and that's going to be a massive no-no against a Steelers defense that will take advantage of any single mistake you make, no matter how small it is. So yeah, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are favored in this game. The Eagles had a nice bounce back week last week against the New Orleans Saints. The defense playing really well, the offense leaving more questions than answered. Saquon Barkley, I know, is going to have a good day when he's on the field, but the passing game, where is the massive bits of production? I know Jalen Hurts had a good day last week, but no touchdown passes to show for 300 plus yards and a terrible red zone interception. The Buccaneers are looking to have their bounce back week this week against the Eagles after they had a terrible showing against the Broncos. And really, last week we saw a lot of teams being able to bounce back from poor week 2 performances. This week, I kind of expect the same thing from some teams, and that includes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I have them winning this one. The Los Angeles Rams are riding the hot hand as they travel to the Windy City, a game of which Chicago is actually favored at the moment. And the Bears are a very bad team at the moment. The offense can't really get anything going, looking very questionable and just unorganized. The defense is doing all they can. They're playing all right, doing getting a decent job. They won them. The one game, the one win this season was because of the defense. But the Rams just beat the 49ers, and even with all the injuries they are dealing with, they are playing solid football. Matthew Stafford is being a fantastic leader and a fantastic motivator for this team. It's going to continue this week. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. The New Orleans Saints are traveling to the Atlanta Falcons this week, a game of which the Falcons are favored. The Falcons have had some pretty tough losses this season, and really they're just still trying to find that rhythm and that chemistry amongst all the new pieces they have on that team. They've looked solid at points this season, and they've also looked completely incompetent at some points this season. I still have no idea what that fourth and down play call was last week against the Chiefs, but you have to live with it. The Saints had a very tough week last week, and what some people could see as a reverting back to the norm for the Saints, I actually see it as they went up against a good Eagles defense. Give me the Saints in this one. I think they bounce back and re-showcase that this is a new type of Saints team we're seeing this year. The Bengals are favored heading into Carolina. That was a very bad showing from the Bengals defense last week. And really this entire season, the Bengals defense has been lackluster, kind of getting worse as the season progresses. The Carolina Panthers had one of their best showings in a while last week, having a fantastic showing against the Raiders, in which Andy Dalton had one of the best QB performances of the season, being one of two quarterbacks to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns this season. The other one is on the other side of the field in Joe Burrow. This is a nice little clash of the old and the new for Cincinnati. Andy Dalton has yet to lose to Cincinnati in his career. He is undefeated. That streak is going to continue. Give me the Carolina Panthers. The Jaguars are looking to unbury themselves after the Bills put them 6 feet under last week. They play the Houston Texans. The Texans are favored by 6. This is a really bad hand to pull for the Jaguars after the kind of showing they had last week. And I knew that contract they gave to Trevor Lawrence was bad. After 3 weeks of this season, it is looking horrendously bad. And they're playing an angry Texans team at home after the Texans suffered a bad loss to the Vikings last week. A loss where the offense and really both sides of the ball couldn't get anything going. It's an angry Texans team. They're looking to bounce back. They really need a good bounce back week because if they lose to the Jaguars, the jokes are going to be endless. Give me the Houston Texans. The New England Patriots make the cross-country trip this week as they play the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners had a really heartbreaking loss to the Rams last week. They are dealing with some injuries. Christian McCaffrey is on his way to Germany to get a second opinion. Deebo Samuel is still out at the moment. They're banged up with 2 key players, but they still have a lot of other really good players there. Jordan Mason has really shown up this season, flashing onto the scene, and they still have George Kittle. This is really the moment that both Shanahan and Purdy need to step up and showcase the kind of players they are. The Patriots had a bad loss against the Jets last week, kind of showcasing what a lot of people expected them to look this season, which is very little offense and thus poor defensive play or mediocre defensive play. I feel like that's going to continue this week. Cross-country trips are always difficult for whoever the road team is. 10 points is a lot, though, for the 49ers. I would not be surprised if this is within 10, but nonetheless, I do have the 49ers winning this one. The Washington Commanders also make a cross-country trip as they head to Arizona to play the Cardinals, and that was a fantastic performance from Jayden Daniels. Really his breakout performance on the road in Cincinnati in prime time. 2 incompletions, 3 passing touchdowns. What a day for Jayden Daniels. Arizona looking to bounce back after a pretty tough loss last week to the Detroit Lions. And this is still a really good Arizona Cardinals team. Really, I'm looking at both teams' defenses. And Washington has played a pretty solid defensive style this season, though they have their moments of collapsing, like they gave up 3 touchdowns to the Giants. They gave up quite a bit to the Bengals last night or Monday night. Yeah, Arizona is going to be able to take advantage of it, I feel. Give me the Cardinals in this one. The Kansas City Chiefs are traveling to Los Angeles as they play the Chargers this week. A little AFC West divisional clash. The Chiefs are favored by 8.5. They have had really all 3 games this season have been way too close to comfort for the Chiefs, but their defense is playing well. The offense is doing enough, even without Kelsey being a massive factor. Meanwhile, the Chargers are going to be without Derwin James due to a 1 game suspension, and their offense just is not looking all that great. It is a very ground and pound smash mouth style, which is probably to be expected. And with that comes a little dip in performance that we've seen from this offense because they're not asking Herbert to sling the ball nearly as much as he was previously. The defense, though, just isn't necessarily able to match and play that kind of style. The Chiefs are a really good team. And again, until they prove to me otherwise, I'm going to be going with them and kind of not pushing, but I'm going to be going with the Chiefs a lot. So give me the Chiefs in this one. The Cleveland Browns look to bounce back against another team looking to bounce back in the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams had really poor losses last week, the Browns to the Giants and the Raiders to the Panthers. Really, neither defense looked fantastic last week for either side, but the Raiders looked especially worse. But Cleveland's offensive line is still a big question mark. It has been playing better, but still, you're really waiting for them to play against another high quality defensive line. Well, this is the week. Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins make up the front seven as the primary pieces for the Raiders, and it seems like Gardner Minshew is still going to be getting the starting job. I have the Raiders winning this one. I think they bounce back. I also just don't trust Cleveland's offensive production. Deshaun Watson has been playing terribly this season. Sunday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills are traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and somehow the Ravens are favored. Listen, for as much as I can talk about how that was a good game for Baltimore and they finally got a win and Lamar Jackson and all that, and they finally are utilizing the pieces, the Bills had one of the best performances of the season and probably of the entire season last week. That was a fantastic beatdown of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And after a performance like that, it is really tough for me to say you're not going to be able to duplicate it, or at least not going to be able to at least play it to the same kind of level. Give me the Buffalo Bills in this one. One of two Monday Night Football games. The Tennessee Titans are traveling to Miami Gardens. They play my Miami Dolphins. And Tennessee has not been looking good this season. They are rough. Will Levis is trying too hard to make plays. They've gotten a lot of turnovers, not forcing a lot of turnovers. They're really just looking incomplete. They're trying to find a rhythm, but they're just not. The ground game isn't working. The pass game is really shaky. But they do play against the Miami Dolphins this week. And I can talk all day about how good this defense has been playing for Miami. Even a lot of Dolphins fans themselves don't see it that way. The defense has been playing well. It doesn't matter if the offensive production is not there to match it. And really, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be for Miami. McDaniel said that there's going to be some kind of discussion within the next 48 hours, waiting to see how Skylar Thompson is because he got injured last week. Which, if is not Thompson to go, which I kind of hope it isn't, that leaves either Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley, and I would feel a lot better if it's Tyler Huntley. Either way, again, I am a Dolphins fan. I'm going to be rooting and have faith in my Miami Dolphins to win every single game because if not, what's the point of me even watching Dolphin games? So give me the Miami Dolphins in this one. The final game of the week, and is it going to be a fantastic game also on Monday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Detroit. The Lions are throwing out their all black uniforms. They look nice, they look clean. And every time these two teams play, it is a complete shootout. For some reason, the defenses can't show up. Will that change this week? I think so. The Lions defense has been playing pretty well this season, getting after the quarterback, Aiden Hutchinson, having himself day after day. He had a sack last week. And the Seahawks, they looked rough against Miami's defense offensively. Geno Smith threw 2 interceptions, and really the entire final 3 quarters couldn't do a hell of a lot until garbage time. The defense, though, has looked really good for Seattle. This could be a pretty defensive game. And if it is, I have more faith in the Detroit Lions defense. So give me Aiden Hutchinson and the Lions in this one. All right, there you have it. My predictions for the week. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. You know the whole drill. I said it at the beginning. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.